Hey, it's me, Willyson me, the guys with the 5 eyes that you see. And I'm also sweating like a motherfucker because it is so hot out here in Florida. But today we're going to be talking about the Zion Williamson situation going on right now. So here's the gist of it. Zion, the basketball player who you know as...
It's over. Pels.
No.
Get it done. And on the spin and the reverse, the slam. And Jose's there. He's got Zion. Look out.
Basically, took it to the hole too strong on this one lady named Concrete Rose. And that's all I know from her socials. And for some of you, you may know her as the girl that did this. All right, so that's her. So, he got her pregnant, he simped up, and, for the most part, that's kind of where most of the jokes were just that, like, dang, Zion was getting this chick pregnant? But legendary, and when I say legendary, I basically mean...
she's a porn star!
Moriah Mills actually came out against Zion because, unfortunately, she is not going to get that forever bag like this chick did, and she let it all out about Zion and their relationship. And honestly, from the text messages, really, it's actually standard stuff. Zion basically he did his thing with her, and that's really all it is. She never exposed no news. She didn't expose any videos or anything of Zion, so most people would think, yeah, that's the worst of it, right? But check this out. There's another lady talking about Zion, and while she's not really outing everything like Moriah, she still, let her little things on and everything, basically let it on that he been flying her out and then taking it hard to the hole against her too. So basically Zion he's been slinging his thing everywhere, and I guess it's a known thing now. He likes to go raw and big, bodaciously plumped women. Whether they're bodaciously plump by nature or not. We're going to be talking about a few different reasons why this is still a bad look for Zion, no matter what it is. Reason number 1. Zion lacks focus. The thing is, I know that men are quote unquote supposed to just get with a rack of women and everything like that. But biblically, at least for me, because I believe in Yahweh and his begotten son Yahawashi, men really are supposed to have sex to procreate. It's fun. It's fun. You can have sex for pleasure, but I believe you should only be pleasuring yourself with your wives and stuff. And this whole society thing about men who are like Zion needing to just smash everything in sight, the thing is, as fun as it may be, it's not doing anything for him, right? The only thing he's gaining is momentary pleasure. But if we're being realistic, him gaining accolades on the basketball court far outweighs anything these women can do for him. And for him to be flying out all these chicks and playing mind games, telling them he playing mind games like Spready Gibbs, it's just a bad look for him because he hasn't been on the court that much. And for him to be messing with these chicks, he's probably not working on his game the way he should be. Because clearly, if you got to fly him out, talk to him, and butter him up, that takes a lot of time with a schedule like his. And that goes on to my next point. He's only played 114 out of 246 games. He has spent half his career not playing basketball. And he's been in the league for about 3 seasons now. That's not very good, especially for a number 1 pick. Usually, and listen, this thing happens to players. We've had Ben Simmons, we've had Blake Griffin, we've had Joel Embiid, even Michael Jordan sat out almost all his second season with a broken foot. But usually by year 3, 4, they're back and healthy and ready to kick it in overdrive. He only played 29 games this year, which was 5 more games than his rookie season. And I personally can attest that this year and last year, I didn't see him play either times when he came to Orlando. And they only come once. So I was very disappointed not to see those dunks in person. When you're the number 1 pick and you haven't played most of your games, if you don't want to be labeled a bust, And he isn't, because he already had an all-star season. He needs to really be busting himself out there instead of busting up in these chicks. I know what his problem is, though, because clearly he was one of those cats where he didn't got a lot of play because he was so busy with basketball when he was younger. And also, he's like me. He just has a general springy, nice personality. He's probably not trying to lie to chicks and be all up in their guts at like 15 or 16. So he probably watched a lot of adult entertainment, and now he's just living his fantasy. But when you're a player like Zion, you got to play games. And if you're not playing games, you got to work on your skill set. Otherwise, the game will catch up to you, no matter how physically imposing you are.
It burns like hell. I have what's known as a venereal disease.
How did you get it?
From
He's also putting his health at risk because a lot of these women are promiscuous. That's just what it is. We may never really know how many guys they're sleeping with all the time, but let's be real. Moriah is a sex worker. And Concrete Rose and this Yasmil person, I had no idea what her name is. These women basically use their looks to get what they want. So, you know, there's probably a whole lot of things happening in their DMs. He's risking his life, essentially, because who knows who they're getting with. And at the same time, he's getting with who knows himself. If we just judging off the way these three women looks, he's probably been racking up his body count. And again, he's barely been playing games. He's not healthy physically enough as it is. He doesn't need to damage his health any further. 4, he probably has a adult entertainment video. I don't know what else to call it on YouTube.
Porn star.
Addiction. Because if you look at the type of women he's interested, no, not even just the type of women. Just look at Moriah Mills herself. For him to be messing with her more than like 4 times, honestly shows that he really has a thing for that kind of stuff. Because her body is faker than the food that we eat. Her body is faker than Future and condoms. I mean, like, her body is horrible. She looks like the Venus of Bilbadorf. Like, she's ugly, in my opinion. And he's been, as far as one of her text messages said, they've been seeing each other since about 2021. They probably getting it on all during the pandemic. Who knows? I can tell just kind of by his corniness, his coyness, and his, like, again, his generally nice country, not even country boy, just your nice city boyish behavior. He probably grew up not really messing with girls like that in that kind of retrospect, or messing with the real thoughts that you usually see back in high school that got body and be using it to, I don't know, get money out of a 30-year-old, because we know them types. Probably ain't used to that. And for him to be messing with Moriah can tell you what he probably was looking at growing up and what he was probably chasing after. And hey, boy from South Carolina, they like him thick, but it's like, bruh, you from South Carolina. You can't find yourself some cornbread fed? Really? You find yourself some collagen fed? Come on. This is the telltale story of Solomon and his wives. Solomon had 700 wives with 300 concubines, and basically destroyed the covenant he had with God, because God gave him wisdom. Solomon wanted wisdom because Solomon knew that with wisdom, he would be able to receive the things he would want in the world. He didn't have to ask God for that, you know, because if he asked God, he'd get one thing. If he gets wisdom from God, then he can get multiple things on his own. And God appreciated that. Gave him that. Went out, got 700 wives, 300 concubines, ended up losing his mind, worshiping their gods. The boy went crazy. He lost it. And eventually he developed his lesser keys, which made portals for demons to be summoned by humans. Now we got Hollywood. And, you know, he became a shell of his former self. And with these women that Zion is messing with, he can very well end up in the same kind of situation where the women can extract babies out of him, extract money out of him, and possibly extract his will to play. And you also got to be careful, because I forgot that one basketball player, it's not Stromile Swift, he's still alive, but his girl killed him in a setup, and Zion's got bread. So that's another thing he's not thinking about, and this goes back to his health. These girls can set him up. And he's putting himself in a Solomon situation where he's got it all, but he can lose it. I know this was not what Kevin's intentions were, but people have turned being a high value male essentially to being an asshole with a lot of money. Just because you have a lot of money, you earn a lot of money, does not mean you have the mental facilities to be valuable in a sense. Because to me, in order to be valuable, you have to contribute to society. But it's not just your work, it is in your mind. Because all of us can have these kind of jobs if we wanted to, if we generally wanted to try to be computers, scientists, and engineers and blah, blah, like that. But let's be frank, a lot of these jobs we talk about being so quote unquote valuable, the world is still going to hell. We still have inflation out the wazoo. People are still going to wars. People are still starving. So it's not really doing any of us much good in life right now. It's just a Passover we have to kind of keep up the base level of our society. But mentally, people are not there. Spiritually, people are not there. And we don't really have enough earnest people in our societies keeping up with those facets of life, even though they act like they do. Just think about being a musician or an artist in general. There's a whole trope about the starving artist and stuff like that. But art has been integral to the human psyche since the very beginning, since our very first words, since our very first drawings. Art is our life. But why do we now treat art like it ain't shit if it's not on the radio or if it's not in a gallery? You know what I'm saying? So really, Zion is like I said before, he's a regular dude and he plays basketball. That's how a lot of NBA players really are. A bunch of regular dudes that play basketball. You would assume they're high value because they get a lot of money and a lot of people watch them, but they're not really bringing a lot of value to society as a whole. They're just entertainers. It's what they do post-career, post-game, the things they do for people afterwards. That really is what dictates whether or not they're high value. At the end of the day, here is our final talking point. The lesson for this is that you've got to value your seed. Black men, you have very little margin for error. If you're going to get a girl pregnant, that's your wife, all right? Even on accident. Now, I am saying, try to make her that your wife. We need marriages in our community. We don't, Zion is worth $250 million. He's 22. Forget her age. Who cares about her age? This motherfucker is an OnlyFans hood rat. He impregnated a woman who has her twat out for the world to see and is being blasted by a freaking adult star who's built like a box of potatoes. This is depressing. This is sad. And of course, everyone wants to look to entertainers and celebrities and stuff, but just look at these niggas. They do not have functional lives. They don't live in reality like the rest of us. Black men, we gotta stop focusing so much on a woman's body. Men are visual creatures, yes, but we've got to temper our visual men. We have to stop getting lost in big boobies, big booties, big lips, and sexual words and sexuality in general. Our society is too sexual, and it blinds us. It curses us. You need to think of Solomon. Solomon, like Zion, was in a special predicament. All the knowledge in the world, and he gave away his kingdom for peace leave. Think about that. We, as black men, are at the bottom, really, right now, of society. The only way we can regain our footing is we have to produce the next generation to be better than us and put them in position. Put them in positions where they can do better than us and where they put their kids in positions, because really that's how it works in this world. That's why God says be fruitful and multiply. That's like one of the first things he wanted us to do on this earth. Go produce generations, because that's how the cycle of life works. We produce, we die, what we produce produces, dies, so on. And every generation can be better from learning from the ills of the previous generation. And for black people, for about the past 60, 70 years, we've been going on a trend down, because after slavery and everything, we were trending up. We were sticking with ourselves. We were sticking with our religion. We were finding out who we are, and we were getting money. We were building cities and everything. And a lot of things made that stop happening. And now you see where we are, where even the highest members of our society are just being made fools of for the public. We can't have that. You're valuable. You're worth something, because I know the people watching this want to help other people the way I want to help other people. We want to show people that black men are bigger than just what we got down there, even though it's pretty big. We want to make this world a better place. We want to be more in touch with Yahweh. You know, we want to be who we always should be, and that is the leaders of this world, this domain. But black men, you are not going to be able to make that happen if you can't control your seed. You know, you need to choose wisely who you procreate with, because who you procreate with decides the fate of this world and decides the fate of our people. That's how serious things are. But anyways, hope you enjoy this show. See ya.